PDM is a bold initiative that is reshaping Uganda's rural economy. By allocating 100 million shillings to each parish annually, PDM empowers households by unlocking opportunities for wealth creation.
This program will be maintained. Each year we send 100 million for the parish. If you get the 1 million, you can buy some goats, you can buy some pigs, you can buy even young cows.
Farmers are transitioning from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture, laying the groundwork for wealth creation and improved livelihoods.
This project started 11 years ago after an inspiration from His Excellency. And that time I was working as a taxi driver. I was doing that Massa business in Soroti, and he was talking about how to improve household income.
With the PDM, you bring back the money after 24 months. But in the third year, you would get another 100 million paid back by those who got first.
The President's message is a mindset changer. Becoming rich does not mean you should have a lot of land, you should have a lot of education, you just need a vision and implement and start from where you are.
So therefore, this PDM is to get all of you out of poverty. That's why we said 100 million per parish per year.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
morning, Uganda. Welcome back from that break. It's time for the agenda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. You are watching Good Morning Uganda on UBC TV. On the agenda this morning, we are talking matters water, and saying as we all use water, I believe, as obviously so, you will definitely be part of this conversation. So 0709-602-592. Send your WhatsApp message and ask that question to Muhammad Lutaya, who is the MD of Kampala Water. A very good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
It's a pleasure having you always.
It's always a pleasure to be on UBC, but most importantly, talk to our customers.
Yes, as they say, customer is king.
Customer is the reason we exist.
And I love that it's actually even on the National Water social media handle.
No, it's our motto, and we don't just put it there, but we really believe in it.
Yes,
yeah.
It is on the X handle of National Water. If you do follow National Water on X, you definitely will see it and the evidence of the fact that the customer is the boss. Now, let's start off with an update. What is the current status of water supply and service delivery in especially Kampala, that the area of your area of jurisdiction?
I think the situation, to some people, they might have different perspectives, but I would say majority of our customers in Kampala have stable supply. You know, Kampala, when you talk about Kampala, it's our service area for Kampala has the Kampala city, it has parts of Mukono, and has parts of Wakiso. So the customers mainly in Kampala city and parts of Mukono, you would say they have relatively very stable supply.
Right.
We still have a few challenges, definitely, especially in the outskirts of the city, where we've always mentioned this, I think, where we still have a few challenges, and these challenges are well known, and also we're working on them. The customers, especially in the areas of Matuga, parts of Kawempe, parts of Gayaza, that area of Rutete, the customers in Nasana, the customers in Wakiso, the customers in Chengira, Maya, some of them in Budo. Those areas have remained intermittently served, largely because as national, especially in Kampala, the government has invested significant amount of money to make sure that we have enough capacity, production capacity, to supply the whole of our service area. And as I speak right now, we're able to produce every day close to 400,000 cubic meters. We have the capacity to do that per day, and that should be able to meet the demand we have. The challenge we have is the fact that despite the fact that we have the water, we have to transport this water so that it's able to reach all these customers. And to do this, right now we have to upgrade some of our pipes, which we're undertaking, especially in those areas I've mentioned. We have a project that is taking place that is aimed at making sure that we're able to evacuate water from Namugongo, so that we're able to take it and supply those areas that are currently stressed. But also there are other smaller pockets also within the city where where we've been experiencing a few challenges. Some of these have been to do with the fact that when you look at the city as well, there's a lot of significant road upgrades that are taking place. So along the way, as they're doing the road, we have to relocate our water pipes. So in the process of relocating, we've experienced a few interruption in supply, but I think we're working very, very closely with the contractors for those roads and the authorities, especially KCCA and Ministry of Works, to make sure that the interruptions are minimized. And the other thing also to note that of recent, definitely, we've had a few power supply challenges.
Yes.
And you know that if there's any power supply challenge, then it affects our capacity, especially with our boosters and even the plants. But again, we've been able to coordinate very effectively with the UDCL to make sure that where there are planned interruptions, we're able to communicate to our customers and we minimize the interruptions. But I think generally, I would say The biggest part of the city is enjoying stable supply. The areas that are currently challenged, and some of them we've undertaken short-term interventions as we wait for the bigger projects to be complete, and we're making all efforts as a corporation, and especially for Kampala, to make sure that we'll stabilize the supply and everyone is able to receive water that's supposed to satisfy their needs. Yes.
Very encouraging at that. So that would encourage areas that are currently stressed out.
Yes.
By water supply.
Yes. The most important thing for all those areas, when you talk about Narumunye, we have been having a few challenges. We have a short-term intervention of putting in place a quick borehole, which is already in progress, but also we're very sure once this project I mentioned is complete, then the supply chain will be solved. We had a few challenges in Kazi, Kabuma, that side of Busabala, and again we've tried to deal with those challenges. We put up a borehole as a short term, but also make sure that we have upgraded our infrastructure. So basically all the areas that have been having a few challenges, we've been able to quickly respond to those challenges and put in place short-term interventions as we look for also the long-term projects that we're implementing. Yeah.
Now, Kampala, Uganda loses, or actually National Water in itself, loses about 2 billion Uganda shillings per month due to water theft and vandalism therein, as well as meter theft. Let's throw a light into this challenge. How big is the problem of water theft in itself, but also infrastructure vandalism?
Yes, water theft, I think we've talked about it for some time. Remains one of our very biggest challenges we're facing. A number of our customers, and we've observed that the people are stealing are not necessarily the people who don't have. No one needs to steal, but you expect that you can give a reason that someone is stealing because he is not able to pay for the service.
Yes. So
what we found out is that the people who are stealing are not necessarily the people who are not able to afford, but it's basically the people who have, and maybe they're trying to maximize their profits or benefits. So it's a very big challenge that we've had, not just in Kampala, but across the country. And we try to put in place very, very strong measures to try to deal with it. People are stealing water in different ways. There are those that tamper with our meter. There are those that use magnets. When you put a magnet on the meter, in a way you compromise the ability of that meter to measure.
I think that's what we're seeing on the screen. Yes. A young man holding meters stolen.
Then there's that part of vandalism where meters are also being stolen by scrupulous people. So theft is coming in different ways for the services, but the impact of it is not just what you mentioned, that we lose that. The biggest impact is that when someone steals water, then it deprives, incapacitates the corporation's ability to extend services to those that don't have. And like I mentioned, the people are stealing are not the people who don't have, are the people who have. So the people who have steal, and then the ordinary Ugandan who needs this service is not able to get it because a rich person has stolen. The money we get, or the resources we get from the service provide, on top of it facilitating our operations, we use it because as a corporation we self-financing in most of the cases as far as operation is concerned. We get support from the government, but most of the money we use for operation, we get it from our customers. But on top of that, the surplus we generate as a corporation, we're able to utilize to expand services, especially in towns that don't have the service. So when someone steals the water, it means that you're not able to extend this service to a person in Karamoja, a person in Lira, a person in those areas where people still have no access to service. So stealing impacts all of us as Uganda. That's why the fight against water theft is a fight we take on as a corporation, but working together with the community. We're working very closely with the security agencies. We have a working arrangement with UPDF and also the Uganda police. We have a dedicated team that has been assigned to us, and we've tried to work very aggressively with them to try to identify those people who are stealing water. And when we get you, we're able to apprehend you. We take you through the legal processes. We take you to court. There's a utility court where all those people are taken, and we had a number of cases that have been ruled against such people. So you would ideally advise the public that stealing water, first of all, it's a crime,
right.
But most importantly, it deprives so many Ugandans of the ability to get the services, but also it has very serious consequences when you're caught.
Indeed. You are watching UBC TV, and this morning on the agenda, that is on Good Morning Uganda, we are looking at the issue of service delivery, but also the challenges that come with water theft, illegal water use and meter theft, a challenge that I believe you have faced at some point in your access to water from the National Water and Sewerage Corporation. We're having this conversation with Mahmoud Lutaya, who is the Managing Director of Kampala Water. Be part of the conversation, 0709 602 592, and engage, ask that question, and also learn, unlearn, and relearn. Now, let's look at the tariffs. What is the tariff? What does the tariff plan look like of national water? Why should we even pay for water? That's a question that people usually ask, but you've rightfully said that ideally it needs to finance the operations. They can't run on their own, so that's why we pay. But let's look at how much water costs.
No, I think the first important thing you asked is why should someone pay for water? And that's the question that we always try to answer to our customers. That idea, there are those who believe that water should be free.
Yes,
because you pick it from the lake, and then you're supposed to give it to people for free. And yet we all know that, like we've shown you in the system, for us to get that water to your home, it goes through a very rigorous process. Most of the water we pick from the lake is 100% unsafe for consumption. So we get it from the lake or from the river, depending on the source. In National we have different sources for water. For Kampala, most of the water is got from Lake Victoria. We have two big plants. One is in Gaba, and then another one is in Katosi. So water is picked from the lake in the state. Right now, when you go there, most of it is green. So we have to pump it into our plant, and then we clean it. It goes through a very rigorous process of cleaning, so that by the time we release it from the plant, it's safe for drinking. So it's tested at every stage, and it meets the national standards for drinking water, for potable water. So we pump it, we transport it. Now we have to maintain that whole network, and you've seen a number of our staff. If there's a leakage, we have a team that is able to respond very fast. If there's a burst, we're able to respond, and then we provide the service to your home, and then we have to come and follow up. So their cost as far as electricity is concerned, their cost as far as chemicals are concerned, their cost as far as the staff and fuel is concerned. In Kampala, we spend close to around 4 billion just for power costs, electricity alone. Right. Just to give you an example. So there's a cost that comes with providing the service, and ideally this is what the customers pay for. And we have different categories of customers, because we realize not all customers are the same. We have basically 5 categories. We have the governments ensure that we wanted to make sure that our industries are competitive. So we provided for a tariff for industries that consume more than 1 million liters of water. So for those industries, I will relate it to a 20-liter jerrycan. The tariff or the cost of a 20-liter jerrycan for an industry is around 59 shillings, a 20-liter jerrycan. Then the other category are the industries that don't fall within that category. This one for 20-liter jerrycan is around 122 shillings, Uganda shillings.
That is for an industry.
An industry. So that it consumes less than 1,000 or 1 million liters. Then we have the commercial businesses. So these are basically the hotels, the saloons, the offices. So this one again, a liter costs also 120, a 20 liter jerry can cost around 122 shillings. Then we have the institutions, talk about the hospitals, the schools, the embassies. This one, a 20 liter jerry can cost only 103 shillings. Then the category that we all could be very interested in are the domestic customers. These are the residentials, your home. Again, a 20 liter jerry can cost only 102 shillings. This is for a 20 liter what? Jerry can. And then lastly, the category that caters for a person mutua wansi, basically, we call it the proper tariff. So where a 20 liter jerry can goes only for 25 shillings. So again, the tariff or the government made sure that we make the service as affordable as possible for the different categories of customers. And now when you compare this cost, 100 shillings for a 20 liter jerry can, and it's already delivered to your home, you're able to realize that the price or the cost of water is not expensive, but affordable.
One would wonder then, if water is that affordable, why do people keep stealing water?
Like I mentioned earlier, people have their own reason. I think there are those who, I might not be able to answer that because I don't know the reason why they might steal, but when you look at it, like you mentioned, there would not be any reason why anyone should steal what? Water. And we mentioned that the people who are stealing are mainly the people who have. So I think they try as much as possible to maximize their profits to the extent that even they're able to steal the smallest and the cheapest thing that exists. Yeah.
Very interesting. Stealing water even when you have, surely. Anyways, you are watching Good Morning Uganda. It's the agenda, and we're looking at water, illegal water, getting illegal water access, but as well therein is meter theft that is quite rampant and needs to be addressed. We do have Mahmoud Lutaya, who is the Managing Director of Kampala Water, speaking with us this morning. Be part of the conversation, 0709 6025592. Allow me get into a couple of the comments from our viewer. I'm a concerned customer from Bulindo service area in Kira Municipal. A meter was removed from my property 2 years ago. Efforts to replace it has taken more than a year in spite of having paid for a new meter. The old meter is reported to have been lost in the store. I have moved to the Bulindo office 6 times in vain. The plumber assigned by the manager gives empty promises. There is room for improvement in the customer care. Let me see, you haven't left your name, but I see you are called George Boka from your WhatsApp ID. Thank you, George, for being on the show. And actually what George puts across also brings me to, I guess you could answer them in the same way. I don't know if they're different. But what is the meter policy of the National Water? When a meter is stolen, who carries the liability to buy a new meter or to pay for it? Is it National Water? Is it the client?
The issue of meter theft of recent is one of our, again, very big challenges. We're experiencing a growing trend of our meters being stolen. And there's been a situation where people have always thought or alleged or suspected that it's us who steal the what? The meters. They believe, some of them believe that National Water steals the meters, then we give them give them back to the customers, and this is really not true. Right. We've tried putting in place a mechanism to try to make sure that we deal with those people who are stealing meters, and we made a lot of progress. There's so many people who have been arrested, and we noted that most people who have been stealing water have been taking these meters in the scrapyard to extract some useful material from the meter, and we've worked with police and security agents to make sure these people are apprehended and they've been brought to book. So meter theft is a challenge, but again we are working tirelessly to make sure that we deal with it, and we want to appreciate the vigilance the customers have shown in trying to deal with this issue. Now, on the question, I'll try maybe to first respond to what George has put forward from Bulindo. I just want to apologize to George for what is experienced. His particular case should ideally be resolved without him even coming to the office or even having to work for 2 years to have his meter removed. So I'm going to follow it up and make sure that it is addressed. If you're out there and you have having a similar challenge where your meter was taken and they're making you walk to the offices, I would request that you raise this issue and we have it sorted. Now, regarding the meter policy, when a customer applies for our services, among the items he buys is also what? A meter. So when you buy it, it becomes, it's your meter in principle. It's your property, but own. You still buy it. It's an asset for the corporation, but you own it. And the fact that we install it at your premises, you have the responsibility to look after it. I think at the end of the day, whatever happens at your home remains your responsibility. So the custody of the meter at your home is still the responsibility of the customer. So when the meter is stolen, the customer is expected to immediately report to police. Like any item which is stolen, you have it reported to police. You get a police reference number. You also report to our office, because why it's important to immediately report to us is so that we're able to come and have the services properly closed off so that you don't lose any more of the service. But most importantly, after you've gone through that process, then you're able to come out to our offices and we're able to give you an invoice for a meter replacement. The fact that you've been on supply, we're making all efforts to make sure that that meter is replaced within the shortest time possible. We've given ourselves a target that within at least 24 hours after you've paid, we should be able to restore your service. Now, like you mentioned, there are areas we need to improve. There are cases where customers are made to wait longer, and we're trying to deal with those cases. But when it comes to meter that is stolen, it's the responsibility of the customer to have it replaced. On our part, we take a response to make sure that your service is restored in the shortest time possible.
Good morning. Thank you for the program. I am Harriet from Mukono Mbalala. In my area, water disappeared in November 2024. And when I called customer care numbers, I was told to find alternative means of getting water. No communication up to date. This is Harriet in Mukono. Yes,
Harriet, again, what I want to apologize for is the fact that our people are not able to update you what is happening. For Mukono Mbalala especially, we've been undertaking a very strategic project to upgrade the pipe network because of the demand. The pipes that we had originally are not able to meet the demand. So we're putting a big pipe, picking water from one of our big tanks in Mukono, and this project is almost 90% complete. We promise by within the next 2 months, it should be complete, and the people of Mbarara should be able to enjoy water reliably. And I'm sure Harriet will be one of them, but I'm also going to take up to make sure that we keep you updated on the progress we're making, especially with that project on Mbarara.
Now, let's continue on with the the problem of meter theft and vandalism. What measures is the National Water putting across to curb this problem?
So I think one of the measures we've tried to do is to make sure that at least for all our customers, we're able to identify our staff. There are people who come and disguise to be National Water staff. And I think it's very important that anyone who comes to claim to be a National Water should be able to identify themselves. This is one of our uniforms. For most of our staff, we make sure the uniform has a name.
Right.
It has the logo for National Water, but everyone should be able to carry an ID. Now, one thing we've tried to do as a corporation is create a relationship with our customers. The people who visit your homes, who come to read meters, are basically known to most of our customers. And if there's a person that you suspect, we kindly request that you contact our officers to confirm whether that person is really a staff from the corporation. That's one thing we've tried to do. The second thing is try to mobilize our customer, because it's very important for us to deal with the issue of theft. We have to have very strong connection with the community. To deal with this, we need a lot of community policing. So we try to engage very strongly with the local leadership in the different areas of our operation to make sure that we, again, utilize the local infrastructure to try to get these people. And this has been very effective. Most of the people we've got, basically got them through the LCs, through the local defense systems. That's how we managed to apprehend most of these people have been stealing water. So again, we want to encourage the local leaders to work very closely with us as we deal with this problem. The third approach, again, we've tried to engage very strongly with the security agencies. We're working with UPDF and Uganda Police to use their intelligence infrastructure to make sure that we deal with this issue of what? Meter theft. Then the last one, which we're working on, is also trying to utilize technology, or even try to see we can review the specification of some of our meters to the extent that we can get meters that have less of the items that those people, the thieves, are interested in. So this is something that also we're working on, and we are confident that through these measures we'll be able to deal with this issue of meter theft.
And for the clients themselves, how is one able to tell or maybe protect their meter and tell that their meter has been tampered with and report as early as possible?
I think most of the customers that have a good job, because you see where we put the meters, most of them where the meter is installed is in the close proximity to the customer's home, and the customers are able to monitor and check what is happening. So one thing that we're working closer to the customer is make sure that where we put the meter is a secure place where the customer has an opportunity to see whatever is happening to the meter. But most importantly, again, this is what we're encouraging our customers. The customers who have gone ahead and make sure that you're putting up a site, it's a new site, it's in an open space, there is no security, so anyone can come anytime and pick the meter. So those are some of the risks that we face when the customer is building, but he wants water on the site, but where he's building has not yet put up any structure. Means that you're basically tempting the thief to come and pick that meter. So we've tried to work very closely with the customer, make sure that where the meter is put, the place is secure enough. But most importantly, again, the other strategies I mentioned are the most important ones, that as long as we can engage, as long as we can pick these people that are stealing the water and we can deal with it, then we should be able to not be scared where you put the meter, because before it was never a problem.
Right. You are watching UBC TV, and we are looking at illegal water connections as well as meter theft from clients, and a problem that the National Water and Sewerage Corporation is dealing with. Very heavy at that, yet it needs a solution. But from what the Managing Director of Kampala Water has so far submitted, I gather that it's collective effort. While the National Water is playing their part, we also ought to play our part at that in making sure that this problem is curbed. 0709 602592. To share your question and your opinion as well to that very number via WhatsApp, and we will be able to speak into this pertinent issue. Now, when we look at some of the comments coming through, it's indeed more of issues that people are facing, but we are definitely going to engage them in just a bit. But Mr. Lutaya, let's look at the impact. I know you hinted on it earlier on, the impact of stolen meters and illegal connections. But paint a deeper picture for our viewer to know, in case actually if they are doing it, they know that someone else is losing out on the opportunity of getting water because of them. Yes,
I think one of the things that has really come out prominently is the issue of meters being stolen. And for a customer, there's a time a customer came to the office and he woke up in the morning and he found his meters, all 4 meters were gone. And then water was gushing. So when they steal the meter, these people don't care, they leave the water gushing. So in a way we're losing, it's a cost to the corporation, but the inconvenience comes on the side of the customer, that all of a sudden water is going to go, and then you go into the process of having the case reported and not having water even for that time until we're replaced. So it's a very big inconvenience on the side of the customer. It also comes at a big cost on the side of the corporation, and that's why we need to look at it in that context, that if it happens to your neighbor, before it happens to you also should really be what? Concerned. And as a corporation, not taking this issue lightly. It's not happening only in Kampala, it's happening across the country. Now, we need to ask ourselves, where are they taking these meters?
Right.
Yeah, so the people are stealing, where are they taking them? Now, we've noted that most of them are ending up in those scrap yards, especially in Chisenyi, where they're able to use the metallic part of the meter to extract some of the things. Then they use them to make gates and all those things. So we're working very closely with the police and security agencies to also go in those locations where they've been where they're using the meters. And we've got a number of them. So this issue, as we deal with them, we need to work very closely with our customers, with the community, with the local leadership, and we make sure that the issue is dealt with. Right.
Now, we do have quite a number of messages that are coming in, and these are the different questions that Mr. Mahmoud Lutaya is going to be speaking into regarding issues of water and illegal water connections and meter theft. We'll start off with somebody who comes through from Mutundwe, I believe. Let me just get that straight. Good morning. Thank you for this program. I am Harriet. Okay, Harriet, we had actually already got into your message. Thank you for the program. I am Christopher in Mukono. And my water meter was stolen on the 17th last month. I paid for a new one and cleared the bills, but no replacement yet. That is Christopher from Mukono. That is one for you to note, Mr. Mahmoud Lutaya. But let's also look at what another issue one has. Can you have Manager Lutaya address the issue of water spillage, which is completely a National Water and Sewerage Corporation problem? 3 days I have passed to 63 millimeter pipes in different locations spilling water all this long. This is a lot of costly potable water loss. This is within the areas of Nansana in Kisumu Katoke area. And the author of this is Engineer Mukungu. And the other message that comes through is, well, my question is, good morning UBC TV, my name is Wambi Savia from Mitiana. I appreciate the National Water and Sewerage Corporation for their good customer care. My question is, while Kampala seems to have a more reliable water supply, in Mitiana water is often on and off and is mostly available only at night. Why does this happen, and what plans does the National Water and Sewerage Corporation have to provide a more consistent daytime water supply in Mitiana? Thank you. Now, I'll leave those few questions to you, Mr. Mahmoud Lutaya, so that you are able to speak into them.
Okay, thank you. And I want to appreciate our customers for the feedback and also the question raised. For Stephen in Mukono, the meter that was stolen on 17th and up now is not returned. It's something that I'm going to follow up. Like I mentioned, on our side we have all the meters. As long as you're able to pay for a replacement, to make sure that within 24 hours that meter is replaced. So the issue, I'm going to take it up and make sure that if there's any lapses on our side, it is also definitely going to be addressed. So for Engineer Mukungu, the concern you've raised, one of the other biggest challenges we're facing are the leakages. And we've tried to put in place a system that allows us to respond to our leakages within the shortest time possible. Kampala, like I mentioned, has the city, Mukono and Wakiso. We've tried to organize it in almost 200 administrative units, which we call territories. So those territories allow us to have quick response. So we have a team that is responsible for a territory that has close to 2,000 customers. So with that kind of system, the objective is to make sure that we're able to have quick response to any issue that is raised. So this issue that has been raised for Nasana, definitely these are areas we can do better. And I'm also going to take it up to make sure that these cases where we have delays in responding to reported cases, we deal with them. But also want to urge the public, where you find any pipe blockage or leakage or spillage, we kindly report it to us so that we're able to have it addressed as soon as possible. Now, why is this is very important? When you have a broken pipe and water is spilling, it has two effects. One, like you mentioned, we're losing money because this is water that is treated, but most importantly, sometimes it affects pressure. So that's why you find that, again, some customers after that pipe are not able to get the service.
Right.
So it's all in our best to make sure that when there's a pipe that is spilling or is broken, we have it reported on our side, and we'll try to make sure that we fix it. We've given ourselves a target that within at least 2 hours for reported leakage, it should be fixed. Again, this case of Nasana, I'm going to follow it up and make sure that if there are any lapses, they are dealt with. Mr. Wambi in Mitiana, the challenges with Mitiana are partly to do with the source, and we've tried to make a lot of improvement in the system in Mitiana, and now we have bigger plans to make sure that we increase the production capacity for the town so that we're able to provide labor supply to all our customers. So there are plans we're undertaking as a corporation to make sure that water supply in Mitiana also improves. And this is not just happening for Mitiana, but there are deliberate efforts by the corporation to make sure that we enhance or improve our production capacity for all our towns. Right now we're operating in more than 287 towns across the country. We have come up with a strategic plan as a corporation, and one of the key focus areas is water supply stabilization, and the area we're putting a lot of emphasis to make sure that all our towns have adequate capacity to meet the demand within those particular areas of service. So this is an area that is at the focus of the corporation, and we'll be able to provide updates to the customers in Mitiana what interventions we're taking as a corporation.
I requested for water at Chengera Service Center in April, and from now, and I think from then, they are telling they're telling me that my application is on hold. I do not know why. I need some explanation. Please, this is Shafiq from Chengera. You can take note of that. But let's also look at, good morning, I'm Susan from Mutundwe. The water bill is suddenly too expensive compared to our usage, though we even have alternatives like tanks. I would love to know how much is a unit of water. And good morning, Julie. Phillips from Karamoja. I am not happy to hear that in our country, the illegal water electricity connection is still on. What is the problem? Is there no mechanism to monitor this? Can't water lines be digitalized to curb this cult? I suspect the fellow workers connive with the illegal connectors. And one final one. Hi, I'm Irene. My meter was vandalized and I paid for the meter. I also completed all the debt, but it's now 2 weeks and I have not received the new meter. Over to you, Mr. Mutai.
Okay, again, we appreciate and thank the customers for the feedback. Now for, I think, Shafiq in Chengera.
Chengera, yes.
Like I mentioned earlier, Chengera is one of those areas where we're having water supply challenges. Now there are parts in Chengera where we know we're not able to provide the service. What we've tried to do as a decision is to make sure not extend services to customers that right now we cannot service. So it's not an objective to give you a connection, yet we know that area is not stable. But like I mentioned, there's a project we undertaking, which is right now in advanced stages of completion. By this time next year, that project should be complete. And once we are sure that where you are, we're able to provide you with a service, then that's when you can be able to process the connections. I think for the case of Shafiq, it is something, maybe it should have been explained better, but what we've tried to do for some parts, especially that area of Chengera, we've decided it's not fair to connect a customer yet you know that particular where he is, you don't have what? The service. So, but I'm still going to follow it up, make sure that that is the case. Then for Susan in Mutundwe, again, thank you for the feedback. The challenge you raised of the bill, now customers have, some of them have come to us and raised concern of the high bill, and we've noted, and again, this is very important, some of it is not because the water is expensive, because sometimes some of the customers we've noted after investigation, they have leakages after the meter. So what happens that National comes and connect the meter, but after the meter, you have maybe the plumbing was not done properly, maybe the pipes are aged. Some customers experience leakages or flows. Even when you're not using the water continues to flow. So what has happened is that we've supported those customers. We come up with our team and investigate the bill. So for the case of Susan, we're going to take it up and come and investigate what could be the reason. There's a possibility that the bill is being caused by maybe a leakage after the meter or any other reason. But from I explained, the bill, the cost of water for a unit has 1,000 liters. Those are 50 20-liter jerry can. And the cost of unit is 4,319. So that's why when we say that when you divide by the number of jerry cans, you end up with this is without VAT. The cost now, I mean, the price for a jerry can comes to 102 shillings. So that's how affordable water is. And when you look at now the details, to be a case of either possibility of a leakage, or maybe also sometimes it comes to usage, where sometimes you use the water without being conscious on how much you use. Then there was a suggestion in respect to dealing with the cases of illegality. Can we digitize? Now we've made a lot of progress as far as National is concerned, digitize, and you find that most of our services are digitized. Even our network is somehow digitized. We're able to locate most of our infrastructure on the digital platform. But the issue of illegality, some of it cannot just be addressed by technology. Some of it has to do with a lot of the human factor. So if someone's stealing, even when you digitize, still people can what? Still, that's why there are different approaches we're using, and definitely technology is one of them. But I think the other thing that we need also to deal with is the human character that comes with it. Then lastly was the case of, I think, Irene, who talked about the meter that was vandalized and paid, and up now has not been replaced, and I'm going to follow it up and make sure that that is handled as well.
Right. Someone here is wondering, why does a National Water use technology, for example, GPS tag, to tag each meter to a specific home? In the event that a meter is stolen, it can be tracked to where it has gone. This is Bosco from Entebbe.
Actually, all our meters, we know where they are. They are digitized. Like I said, all our infrastructure are digitized now. What that requires is that the meter should have a sensor, a locator. Now that, most of the meters that are good don't carry that. It would also mean that the cost of this meter has to be a bit what? More than what we're paying for right now. And now those are the issues we need to deal with, you know, digitization in terms of costs and affordability. So it's interesting development, like I mentioned, as a corporation. It's an area we are putting a lot of priority on. How do you use digital technology to deal with most of the challenges we're facing? But like I mentioned, digitization can assist, but at the end of the day, the other human factor is equally important, and we need to deal with it.
All right. Now, we're beginning to close this conversation, and you'll definitely give us an action point as a parting shot, but perhaps we'll also take a bit of a practical lesson as to how to use the National Water website. So allow me get to the screen over there so that Mr. Lotaya here takes us through, takes us to school on how best we are to use the National Water website as we are accessing it using our mobile gadgets or any tech gadgets. to use the website. Now that is the interface
Yeah.
of the website.
Yeah.
And this, I can see, this of course talks about in case you want to know what the National Water and Sewerage Corporation is, and a new connection, someone who needs a new connection.
Exactly.
So they'll just come here.
Just come there, and you can be anywhere. It can be at 2 a.m. It can be on a Sunday. It can be a public holiday. Right now, if you want a new connection, you no longer have to come to our offices.
Right.
Just go to the website.
Yes, you can
now,
come here and just...
Yeah, you go to the website. Now it defines what do you need. These are the steps you have to follow.
Right.
To get a new connection.
Right, right.
So you have to fill in the personal details, provide the address, fill in the connection details, then you upload. Now there are very critical documents you need to upload. So you have to have the photo, you have to have the proof of ownership, which is either it can be a land title or a sales agreement. Then you have a letter from the LC that helps to confirm that actually you're a resident there. Then you can put a sketch map, then a national ID. So those are very important. Then you confirm, then you apply and you submit.
Right.
Now we get all this information and then we'll be able to process the connection. Now again, you said right now we want to empower the customer so that you're in charge of your bill. So there are different ways. You can download our app, but so you can even pay through our website. Now people have been asking what is the cost of water. Even on our website you're able to look at the tariff guide. You know, it gives you an idea on how the tariff structure is, how much you're supposed to pay, and this is the tariff structure which I have been explaining. The 7 categories. For the propua tariff, the unit cost is 1,060 and the jerrycan costs 25 shillings. For domestic customers, so basically on the website, if you want to know what am I supposed to pay, this is the tariff structure.
Right.
And it's all related to how much it costs for a jerrycan.
Right.
So again, under your bill, you have also the option of downloading the app and knowing how much your bill, and then you interact with your app as well.
Right.
So these are all options you can get on the website. Again, the objective is you try to make sure that you provide convenience to the customer and you get all the services online the way you get them to when you visit our branches. So these are the different payment options. Now there's an option that most customers have not taken advantage of, which is very, very convenient. We call it direct debit.
Direct debit.
Direct debit.
All right.
So with direct debit,
yes,
we don't even have to remind you of payment. So you provide the details of your bank account, and then every month
you deduct.
Once you get a bill, we deduct. So this is a very, very interesting option.
Right.
And we want to encourage most of the customers, if you have challenges of being reminded, delays, you don't want people to disturb you, you provide a direct debit option. Now, the good thing is that you don't, every month you get a bill and you reconcile. With the other, we would pay any other option. But then all these other options, pay for the mobile money, the EFT, and e-payment with the partner banks. All these are options that are there. But when you're on the website, you can even immediately click and you do what? You pay. Now, another area that people are interested in are sewage services. How do you get a new sewer connection? Also, this is now online. For customers that are especially within CBD, you want to get a sewer connection, you're able to do that. So what the corporation has tried to do is to allow the customer experience most of the issues they want, they're able to do it online. Now, we talked about the water tips. How do I report a leakage? How do I save water at home? You talked about the bill being high. The interest of the corporation is not to get money from you.
Yes.
We're interested to make sure that you get a good service and you pay for only the water you use, but also advise you how can you save water. Because I think for a customer, it's very important that you know how do you save what. So we've provided some very interesting easy ways on how to save water from the taps you install in your home, because the impact on the volume water that can be So a number of tips that again on our website we encourage our customers to access to make sure that you're able to Now, under e-services, if you're a registered customer, you're able to now navigate your account.
Right.
So you need to know what is happening, what is your payment history, what is your consumption history. If you have, now you've been having cases where customers say that I'm a tenant. So under e-services, you're able to log on onto your account now as a customer. Either if you're new, you sign in. If you're old, you sign in. If you're new, you sign up.
Yeah.
So how it works, through this app, you have total access to your account that allows you to monitor how much you've been paying for the last number of months, how much you've been paying, how much you've been consuming. If you have multiple accounts, you're able to monitor them by yourself online. So what you've tried to do,
might wonder what they need to sign up. It's just
a name,
number,
yeah.
Right?
The customer reference number, then your name, last name, the phone number, the email, and then you register.
That you've created for yourself.
So once you register, then you're able to see a lot of benefit that comes with the e-services. So suppose I want to log in, and you see now again something that I've been asking. You can log in as a tenant.
Right.
You can log in as a landlord.
Right.
So it means that because there's been a question that if I'm a tenant and how do I get bills? So you can register and you still get bills as a tenant.
Oh, yes.
Even on the website, you can even register that I've moved. I was a tenant in Bulindo. Now I've gone to Nansana. So again, you're able to change your details. But most importantly, the objective here is that as a customer, you're able to get your bill. On top of that, you're able to monitor and track your consumption trends and payment trends as far as your account is concerned.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I love the fact that it's very interactive. It's literally talking to the customer along the journey of whatever they might need. Now, I don't know if we can spare maybe one more question from the viewer. It's quite a lot, but maybe one more question that random pick that you could speak into. And this is good morning. Still on the meter problem. My meter was removed officially by your official, that is the national water official. I have a place in Kiswa, Kampala, and I have no water. What should I do? Why should you remove my meter to begin with? If it's the bill problem, I need my water back. This sounds like a very angry customer.
Yes. Now, people ask, why do you take a meter? Now, there are two things, there are different reasons why a meter can be picked.
Right.
Meters are like most of them, they're not like their machines, they're equipments.
Yeah.
We have to maintain them, we have to service them. So we have a schedule where regularly we service meters because it improves its functionality. But if you have to remove a meter as a corporation, we inform you that John, dear customer John, tomorrow we're going to come and remove your meter and take it for servicing. You get a message. Even when you take it, we send you a message that has been removed for this reason, and even give you the reading on your meter. Now, once we take it, we service. In most cases, a meter we take for servicing within that very day, we should be able to replace it, to bring it back.
Right.
Now, we can take it for service and realize it has a problem, and we have to replace.
Right.
If the cause of the problem we've noted was because of the normal issue with the meter, then you don't pay for that meter replacement. If we note that you vandalized it or you tampered with it, then the customer meets the cost of payment. So this issue of
their meter being taken
and not returned, something that we're going to follow up and why it's done that way. But most cases, we should have already returned this meter, so we're going to take it up.
Right. Now, my producer has given me the opportunity of 2 extra minutes for all these questions to be answered. So, Mr. Lutaya, you can just we can start from the top so that we are able to track all of them and have a quick fire burning response.
It's good to go to Ngora
system to speak into this.
Joseph from Ngora.
I pay for the new connecting, but they tell me to pay for digging the trench when I paid all the money.
So for Joseph, this is not acceptable. Once you pay for the cost of the connection, we are the ones to do the trenching, we're the ones to give you a meter. So again, this case is something that we're going to take it up, and this to all our customers. The moment you pay for the connection, ideally, the trenching and the material is supposed to be provided by the corporation. So for the Joseph's case, we're going to take it up and follow it up, and make sure that it's handled.
And the following one is Y equals what? It's here.
Why
equals
what?
Let's see. Yeah, in
Uganda
Kaliro Road, water can even take 1 week without coming. Our normal supply is now every 4 to 5 days. Why is it? What is the cause and what can the remedy be? Yet they are very prompt in bill collection. Why equals what?
So what is the problem? Why? I think we appreciate some of the areas that are experiencing water supply challenges. Their interventions are taking place. I know for Uganda, there are very significant interventions were undertaken to increase the capacity of the system so that it meets the demand. And sometimes intermittence is caused by the constrained system. What I've explained, what is happening in Kampala and the intervention we're taking. So the same thing is happening for a number of our towns, that the corporation is now putting deliberate effort to enhance the production capacity. You notice that most of the town, there's been a significant increase in the population and the demand for the services, which we're trying to match with the expansion of our infrastructure. But what is very important in this case, where we have interruptions, we're able to communicate to our customers so that they know what the problem is and what we're trying to do about it. So for the case of, again, our customer, dear customer in Uganda, I'm also going to take it up and make sure that he has the actual updates on the why and the what.
With the mathematics there, why equals what. And someone here just says hi to you too.
Hi.
For watching the show. Another hi. Thank you so much for watching and following the show. Good morning, UBC. Thank you for the program. My question is, why sometime water disappeared, and yet we know that water is there every single day from the national water source? This is Bernard from Gulu.
Now, there are different reasons why water can disappear. Like I told you, our system rely on power. And you had cases where sometimes you have planned maintenance as far as power is concerned. There are times where we have, like I told you, some of our towns are going through a lot of infrastructure upgrades with the roads. You can have some minimum interruptions. So there are going to be cases where you're going to have interruptions. But I mentioned earlier, what is very important is that where we have interruptions, we're able to engage and communicate to our customers so that they know what is happening. And again, it's very important that I'm also going to follow up the issue raised for Gulu, and we enhance on the communication there.
All right. Now, our time is really fast spent, and we definitely do have to allow Mr. Mahmoud Lutaya go for more duty of serving Uganda under the National Water and Sewerage Corporation. On that note, what are your final remarks?
Mine is one, to appreciate and thank UBC for the opportunity they always give us to engage our customers. I want to sincerely thank our customers for the support they give the corporation and the feedback I always get. For us, we don't treat customers' feedback as complaints. We treat it as feedback. And like mentioned in the beginning, customer is king as far as we're concerned. Now, to assure our customers that there's a total commitment on the side of the corporation to make sure that we provide reliable services, not just in Kampala, but in all the towns that the corporation serves. So we have very clear plans, and I think at one point we'll be able to come and explain what is happening in Gulu, what's happening in Arua, what's happening in Moroto, what's happening in Barara. But there are very detailed plans that we come up with to make sure that all the towns that Nashota operates in, people are able to get reliable supply. So I want to thank our customer for the support, and now encourage them to pay their bills, and let's work together to fight those people stealing water.
Right. Allow me just ask, with the complaints we've seen, I think there is a number that they might need to reach out to directly so that their complaints are easily answered or responded to. I know the ex-handler of National Water easily responds, but perhaps there is another communication.
No, I think you've always been encouraged. Even my number is a public number. So my number is 07 5 111 7120. That one is also open 24 hours. 075 111 7120. That's my number. But also they can call another number, which is also very important. Also, it's supposed to be open 24/7. That is 0752 916 541. 0752 916 541. Then on top of our call, our toll-free numbers that are always published. I know someone is trying to call to confirm whether I've given the right number. Yes, it goes through. Right. So, yeah.
Very interesting. It's been a pleasure having this conversation with you.
No, sorry.
And it definitely brings us to the close of today's edition of Good Morning Uganda. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you so much for following and being part of every conversation we align to you on the other side. I remain Julie F. Nantaba, and it is always for God and my country. Good morning. Let's do this again tomorrow as UBC TV continues to inspire you. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo,
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable. In Uganda, mornings don't begin with sunrise. They begin with courage. One man, one factory that has refused to stay silent. With one spark of courage, a chain of prosperity begins. One Ugandan stands up, the nation moves. Pearl Bank, grow, prosper.
Uganda's coffee story is an exciting phase through the Government of Uganda funded National Coffee Seed System Project, the National Coffee Research Institute, NACORI, and the policy guidance of NARO works with MAIF, Coffee Department, registered nursery operators, and farmer groups to deliver quality coffee seedlings to farmers. Introducing Next Wave, the next generation of coffee. Chituza Robusta coffee varieties with higher yields, drought tolerance, and resistance to diseases. As Uganda's coffee exports grow from 3.5 million to over 8.7 million bags, NACORI research is helping drive productivity, quality, and competitiveness. Beyond production, NACORI is unlocking new opportunities through coffee value addition, creating innovative products and higher incomes for farmers, processors, and entrepreneurs.